I was on the record saying after last year, they should have walked away from Roethlisberger, eaten the majority of that dead money that they were going to have to eat, and then moved on as a franchise. They decided to run it back for one more year, and ultimately my question would be, for what?
Yeah, I think what they did was miscalculate everything based on the fact that you did return Roethlisberger, who I think, you know, if you give him a solid offensive line with a run game that's pretty prosperous, you can have a different result, but that didn't happen. They went out and they drafted a couple of guys, but they're long shots to be successful right off the bat in the NFL. They brought in Trey Turner. He was like a last leftover kind of guy on the offensive line free agent market. They didn't do enough, even though they said they wanted to improve the run game. I think statistically, if I'm not wrong, they actually went backwards, and it became worse. Couple that with the fact that their run defense is the worst in the NFL. I mean, they took major steps backward despite what the record says, I think.
Well, I mean, my bottom line with this is I would categorically, or I would just fundamentally, Bob, disagree with you that if you surrounded Roethlisberger with X, Y, and Z, you were going to get a whole lot better than you got. Maybe a win, but I thought he was as much the problem as anything around him. I think he showed that he really just cannot do it anymore. The mobility was completely gone. I'm not even talking much functional pocket mobility. The arm was wildly inconsistent from game to game. Bunch of missed throws last night. That was why, I did not fundamentally believe after last season that they could win anything of significance with Roethlisberger, and that above all else is why I thought it was a fruitless endeavor to try to bring him back. But to your point about all the other stuff that they built around him, I mean, isn't it frustrating to watch the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl last year, lose to an all-time great defensive performance because they can't protect their quarterback, and in the course of one off-season, completely rebuild that offensive line and have it looking great? I mean, that frustrates me. Pat Freiermuth's nice, but I would rather have Creed Humphrey. The idea that the Steelers were going to be the ones who bucked conventional wisdom, draft a running back in the first round and have that fix their running game. I know Harris had a pretty good statistical rookie season, but he didn't fix the running game. He didn't fix anything. And now, as you said, they've got huge problems defending the run. I mean, this team's problems are many, and they are vast.
They are, and they have to figure out what to do now in an offseason, especially when you know they're going to have to look at the quarterback position first and foremost. There's no coincidence in the fact that teams that are left over generally have some of the best. Now, you're not going to get it at 20th overall, but that's got to be part of this, as well as so many more pieces to just the offense. The defense, we'll talk about them, go sort of position by position when need be. But a lot of guys indicated they want to come back. We'll talk about whether or not they should. I'm talking about Deontay Johnson. I'm talking about Juju Smith-Schuster, who returned, and give him credit for doing that. He wanted 4 more years. We'll talk about all that and more as we continue. Want your phone calls as well at 412-575-2600. We're live tonight, as we always are, right here on Pittsburgh CW and 93.7 The Fan. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Don't go away.